Alright, what is going on, people of the internet? Welcome back to the episode of Ark Max Speed, and this time we're taking a look at the Argentavis, which is an amazing late game mount. They have incredible damage, and health is actually quite good. If you get a higher roll, a level 120 perfect tame, you could probably get its health at a base stat of around 4,000, which is not quite on the Rex's level. It's about half that, but its damage per second, I would say, is actually comparable. And one thing that makes the Argentavis really great is that it's tougher to hit, because if you get into a headlock fight with an Alpha Rex, with a regular Rex, there's no running. You can't outrun it, especially if you've spec'd all your points into melee damage and to health. And if you spec into movement speed, you're very likely to be dead quickly. So the Argentavis, on the other hand, has the sky. It fights on a 3D battleground, if that makes any sense. The 2D would be the ground, and the 3D is adding that up and down atmosphere, which is what the Argentavis can do, and it can actually avoid the hit area of tougher dinosaurs than itself, so it can actually punch above its weight class. This is obviously the standard movement speed. It's probably not much of a surprise. The Argentavis are a very popular mount, and for a good reason. This one has about 400 weight to start out with, and they can be turned into great freight birds. I actually tested it out with mine on my own server. I got a high-level Argentavis and only pumped weight, and I didn't even go full into it. I didn't obviously get it to the max level. I probably only got it about maybe 2/3 the way there, 3/4, and I got its weight up to about 1,400, which is actually comparable to what a high-level Quetzal would come out with stock. So the Argentavis is obviously an exceptionally good mount. They are unlocked at level 55, the saddle for it at least. You could use them as a following buddy, but they would be kind of a pain in the neck to deal with because of the fact that they are extremely friendly and will hug anything that you are trying to ride, and they will not be able to move. Basically, they rubber band into you, and you can't move. So we're going to go ahead and pump movement speed here, and this is its actual non-sprinting speed, which is, I think, about the same as what its regular movement speed was while sprinting. Except this time, it has near infinite stamina. Not quite, obviously, but very close. So I actually kind of get lucky here and find a Giganotosaurus, and I only say kind of get lucky because I kind of didn't realize that Infinitestats doesn't mean God mode, and that happened. Now, the Giganotosaurus one-shot me, and it's a level 8. So take what you will from that, but maybe please nerf a little bit. So I'm just kind of standing here not knowing what to do. So I try out the kill command, and it actually does work this time. The ragdoll is a little bit strange. Its face is now spliced in two, and its lower jaw is warping through its head. As you can tell, little Bagel over there is none too happy with this big monster that's just gone ahead and killed his bird. So we're going to spawn in a new one, and this time I instantly kick it off sprinting because I feel like that one didn't really get a chance to shine. This one is a level 72, which will give you a better idea of what you're probably going to be looking at. I mean, you would probably, if you were looking for an Argentavis for your own personal mount, as everyone does at some point because they're absolutely amazing and you have to have one of these, probably going to be looking for a level 100 plus, and you're going to be doing an all prime / kibble mix tame on it, and you're probably going to be looking at a 160. This is closer, but not quite perfect. So it has nearly 470 weight and 300 melee damage, which is really good. It's 300%. And 1,000 health. And the health might be a little bit low, but the sprint speed more than makes up for that once spec'd into it. And the Argentavis actually is kind of the sky version, in my opinion, of a Carno / Gigantopithecus, because the Carno and the Gigantopithecus are actually incredibly similar mounts. Both are extremely powerful in their own right, except when it comes to Alpha Rexes, Alpha Carnos, and Alpha Raptors. I would not actually recommend going after one of those guys with a Gigantopithecus. You could probably handle the Alpha Raptors alright, but once you get into Carno territory, you're probably going to have a bit of problems. The Argentavis is the same. I believe would have higher damage, as they are pretty common mounts. People would have spec'd melee damage into it and made attack builds, which is perfectly fine, but the Argentavis would not be this late endgame thing that you could make out of a max melee damage T-Rex with a bit of health on the side. So the Argentavis, in my opinion, is honestly kind of like a Carno / Gigantopithecus in the sense that you could honestly max out its movement speed, and you'd be totally fine, because its base melee damage and its base health and its base stamina, I don't even have infinite stamina turned on, and look at that, I've still got a third left from doing all that. So you would be perfectly fine. You could survive and even thrive with an Argentavis at max speed because its weight